Dodili vanilo harue bashoshani Dodili mizodola min hamidbar mizodola min hamidbar Mekuteret moru levona Dodili vanilo haroet bashoshani Dodili.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm Rabbi Barry Silver on behalf of Congregation Va-Dor. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to another exciting episode of Shabbat in cyberspace. No pandemic could quarantine our expression of Judaism or mask our excitement in sharing with you the thrilling story of Noah and the ark, known to so many people, but we're going to explore some aspects of it that you've probably never heard of before. We're also going to discuss, did it really happen? And I want to start with a story that my dad used to tell about a child named Shmuel Nar, who was always getting into trouble and saying the wrong thing. One day the teacher said, "Children, do you know who was on Noah's ark?" Shmuel Nar said, I do, pick me. Teacher said, okay. Shmuel Nar, who was on Noah's ark? So he said, there was Noah and Joan and their sons and their wives. Joan? Where did you get Joan from? The teacher asked. Shmuel Nar said, haven't you ever heard of Joan of Arc? Oh no, Shmuel Nar, that's a different ark. This is not what we're talking about, Joan of Arc. This is Noah and the ark. And so tonight we're going to share the true meaning of Noah and the ark. And we're thrilled to also have Susan Schultz to lead us in the candle lighting, Rabbi Martin Bisol to lead us in the Kiddush, and an awesome rendition of Boi Kala, meaning come my Sabbath bride. The Sabbath is compared to a bride, which is something that is special and unique and holy and sacred. We're greeting the Sabbath bride, and I invite you to join us for this wonderful Shabbat celebration. And now, let the celebration begin.
Greetings, fellow members of Va-Dor. These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illuminate our uncertain steps. Flames purify and renew, soften and refine. They brighten and make warm. Flames remind us of Sabbaths long ago and of their beauty that delighted our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher k'deshenu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos, everybody. Welcome to our service. I'm about to do the Kiddush blessing, which is done every Shabbos. The Kiddush is one of the central rituals of Shabbat. For many people, the words and melody of the Kiddush evoke some of their most meaningful Jewish memories. Reciting the Kiddush is a fulfillment of the biblical command to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Join in with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Amen. Once again, good Shabbos, everybody. I hope to see you all at one of our outdoor services in the near future.
Shalom materet bala gam besimcha uvetzaola la la toch emuneyam segula boi kala 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 boi kala
My friends, there is so much in this world that is beautiful, so much that is wondrous. We should not just be wandering Jews. We should be wondering Jews, filled with a sense of wonder and a sense of awe, even after the days of awe are no longer here. Every day should be a day of awe. And our ancestors used to wonder, why is there a rainbow in the sky? They had absolutely no idea. They didn't understand about refraction and water droplets and principles of light. No. They attributed everything to a supernatural force. Why do you get sick? God is angry. They never heard of germs. Why is there an earthquake? God gets mad and he wants to open up the earth to swallow you up. They didn't know about plate tectonics. Why is there a rainbow? Because, and they invented a wonderful, fanciful story about the rainbow, which we'll speak about later on. The rainbow, according to the Torah, was a sign from God. You know, when you look at that rainbow, you could think this is a sign from not the supernatural, but a sign that the natural is super. Richard Dawkins wrote a book called Unweaving the Rainbow, in which he said, you know, just because we try to understand the rainbow and unravel its mysteries through science to truly understand it, it doesn't mean that we don't think that it's a thing of beauty. Actually, we can appreciate the beauty all the more because we notice not only how aesthetically pleasing it is to the eye, but also to the mind when we contemplate all the miracles that go into making a rainbow. That's what we're here to do tonight. As we do this, these prayers, I hope each time, every prayer, we'll just be thinking how wondrous and how amazing and how awesome is this world. And now let us listen to some of our traditional prayers.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי לאה ואלוהי רחל, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמה באהבה. זכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכתבנו בספר חיים. למענך אלוהים חיים, מלך עוזר ומשיח מגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
When all the world is just full of tourists and we're threatened by a virus all around, prophets inspire us and the words resound.
I really love the story of Noah's Ark, and I love celebrating the Sabbath. It's just so much fun. Even though we're not with you personally, I still enjoy this wonderful, awesome expression of Jewish culture, tradition, spirituality. And we are going to be in person live soon, and I'm really excited about that in an environmental Shabbat. I hope you can join us. And I'm so excited tonight. I have on my Noah's Ark tie. I don't know if you can see this, and my Jerusalem talit. Yes, this is a great day. And so as we now celebrate Shabbat, I hope that as we read from the story of Noah and the beauty of the rainbow, we might spend a few moments in silent meditation just contemplating how beautiful this world is and give thanks for color. Imagine if we could only see in black and white. Imagine how dreary this world might seem. Imagine how lucky we are to have the gift of vision, even if we need glasses or maybe our vision isn't perfect. Let us pause at this time of silent meditation to give thanks for the wonder of vision and the ability to perceive beauty in the world and also to help create it. A few moments of silent meditation.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our life a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, mikor habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
If you would read the Torah, what a tale its words would tell about the old-time heroes in the land of Israel. And when the world grows dark, we provide a spark to help the world to see our shared humanity. And we know when things go wrong, we must stay strong and sing our song of harmony.
If you would read the portents and the writing on the wall, we could begin to fathom the rise of mankind and its fall. When the Jews are cursed, it brings out the worst in our society and leads to tyranny. But in those lands where Jews are blessed, it brings out the best and leads to liberty.
Injustice here or injustice there is injustice everywhere, as taught by Dr. King.
And if you read each sacred line, then you may find that love empowers everything. And love's power is so real. I always hoped that I would feel this way, and I'm glad to say that I finally get it. I don't know where the world went wrong, but we must stay strong, and we must learn to get along. According to the Torah, Noah was 600 years old when the flood came, and still he was able to build an ark and get all the animals into it. I'm only about 1/10 of his age, but still, even though I'm 1/10 of Noah's age, I'm still too old to be able to see like I used to in the good old days, and so I need these glasses as we read from the Torah. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach, Baruch Adonai hamavarach leolam boed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Ele toldot Noach. Noach ish sadik, tamim haya bedorotav. These are the chronicles of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, and a man of integrity for his generation. Et Elohim hitalech Noach. Noah walked with God. That verb hitalech is related to halacha, which is a path that you walk. Vayolad Noach shlosha banim. Noah had 3 sons. Et Shem, et Ham, ve'et Yafet. Shem, Ham, and Yafet. V'tishchet ha'aretz lifnei ha'Elohim. The world had corrupted itself before God. V'timale ha'aretz Hamas. The world was filled with Hamas, evil and corruption. And today, perhaps there's no coincidence that this terrorist evil group called Hamas is the same word as evil and destruction in the Torah. Vayar Elohim et ha'aretz v'hineh nishchata ki hishchit kol basar et darko el ha'aretz. God took a look at the earth, and behold, all flesh had corrupted itself on the face of the earth. Vayomer Elohim leNoach. God said to Noah, Ketz kol basar bo livneh ki mal'eh ha'aretz Hamas. There's going to come an end to all flesh, because the earth is filled with violence. Mipnehem v'hineni mashchitam et ha'aretz. And so I am going to put an end to life on earth. Aseh lecha teva atzeh gofer. But for you, Noah, I will save. Build yourself an ark out of gopher wood. Ta'aseh et hateva v'koporet ata mibet u'mechutz b'koper v'zeh asher ta'aseh ata. And you will cover it up with pitch. And this is what you shall do. These are your instructions for building the ark. Shlosha me'ot amah, 300 cubits in its width, orech, in its length, v'hateva v'chamishim amah rachba, and 50 cubits in its width, u'shloshim amah komata, and 30 cubits tall. Sahar ta'aseh leteva. You shall put a window in the ark, ve'el amah hatiklena milama, ve'patach hateva bitzada. And you shall put a covering over the ark, and you shall cover it with pitch from below, and you should also put a door in the ark so that people can get in on the side. Tasim, tachtim, shniim, v'shloshim, ta'aseh. You shall make the ark 3 stories. V'ani hineni mevi et hamabul mayim al ha'aretz. As for me, while you do this, I am going to bring a flood of waters upon the ark. L'shachet kol basar asher bo ruach hayim. In order to put an end to all life in which The spirit of life is within it. Mitachat hashlomim, kol asher ba'aretz yigaveh, v'hakimoti et briti itcha. Every living thing shall end, but I shall establish my covenant, habarit, with you. The blessing after the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chai olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. There's an old story about the rabbi who was at a funeral, and he was really scratching his head trying to figure out, what could I possibly say that was good about this guy? He was incorrigible. He was awful. And then it occurred to him at the eulogy, and he said, what can we say about this wonderful man? All I can say is, his brother was worse. So the story that we have today of Noah's Ark, it has kind of a backhanded compliment about Noah. In the Torah it says, and Noah was a good and righteous man for his generation. Well, it also says that everyone in the generation of Noah was violent and corrupt. So saying he was good compared to the rest of the people in his generation wasn't really all that much. However, it does tell us something, that he was able to resist the evil urge. And then it does say that he walked with Noah. Many people look at this story and say, I don't think it's true. I don't think the story really holds water. We also have in this same passage the Tower of Babel, which people just think is a tall story, but actually there is such a thing as Babel and Babylon. Every time you hear this Friday Shabbat celebration, you can hear the rabbi Babylon. Now there's another thing about this story that's a little hard to believe. Noah, apparently, according to the Torah, was 600 years old when he went about building an ark. I don't know about you, but I'm not nearly 600. I'm about a tenth that. But building an ark, that would be kind of tough. But that wasn't the worst part of it. What he did, according to the Torah, was far beyond just building an ark. He actually had to catch 7 pairs of every clean animal so they could be sacrificed. That's what he was instructed to do. How would he even know the rules of kashrut? To know what a clean animal was, he'd have to be a genius to go through all the animals in the world and know which is clean and which is not clean. He also had to get 7 pairs, male and female, of all the birds in the sky. Oh my gosh, how would he be able to catch all these birds, 7 pairs, and then find one? Oops, I got to throw this one back. It's not a female. I need another female for this one. Tough job to do. He also had to go find all the animals, the penguins, the kangaroos in Australia, the bison in North America. This was a pretty tough job. But it gets worse. He also had to take a male and a female of every insect. He had to go find a male and female ant. How would you even know which is male or female? A female beetle, a grasshopper, a scorpion, a tarantula. He'd have to catch a butterfly and get a male and female. Not easy, but it gets worse. It's a lot harder than that. He had to find food for all of them. Do you know what food a caterpillar eats? Or a koala bear? Would you be able to find the eucalyptus tree? I mean, and how would you get food for all of these animals and for yourselves? And where would you store it on the ark, which according to the Torah's dimensions were only big enough to have maybe 2 large whales? Where would you get all this food? But it gets worse, because not only that, not only did he have to get all the animals from around the world when the water receded, he'd have to remember where he found them all and bring them back to the right place. Someone once quipped, did he have to save the mosquitoes? Couldn't we have done without them? My friends, another aspect of the story which it's really hard to believe. It says that the water covered the highest mountain. If you think about it for a minute, you'll realize that it's actually absolutely impossible for water to be so high in earth that it would cover the highest mountain. That it's not quite possible. And so we have reason to believe that perhaps the story didn't happen quite the way it says in the Torah. Where did they get the story? From Babylonian, Persian, Egyptian mythology. One such story was the tale of Gilgamesh, which bears a striking resemblance to the story of Noah. In Gilgamesh, the world also was destroyed, and Gilgamesh builds a boat and saves them, but the story's a little different. In Gilgamesh, the gods wanted to destroy humanity because they were just making too much noise, too noisy. When it gets to the Jewish people, there's a moral imprimatur that's placed upon this story. Why was Noah saved and why was the world destroyed? Because they were too noisy? No. Because they were corrupt and evil. Evil must be punished and goodness must be protected and preserved. So Noah was saved because he resisted evil. He had the ability to just say Noah when everyone else was going astray. The Torah also seeks to explain, as I mentioned before, where does a rainbow come from? What's it doing there? Why is it up there? It also explains or attempts to the races. It says that he had 3 children, Shem, Ham, and Japhet. Shem gives rise to Semite. These were the Middle Eastern peoples. Japhet sounds a lot like Yapet, which is a Greek god, the son of the Titans, also the father of Prometheus, who, like the Jewish people, brought fire and learning and light to the world. And then there was another son named Ham. Ham means dark. And so those were, the descendants of Ham were said to be the Africans, the people of Africa. Sadly also, there's a story in the Torah, which if you come to the Zoom Shabbat, I'll give you a little more detail about it. But Ham is said to have done something really, really terrible, which bears a striking resemblance to the Gilgamesh story, but it's cleaned up a little bit. And because of that, God says that the descendants of Ham, including the Canaanites, were meant to be enslaved. You shall serve the other 2 brothers. And because of that, Southerners in the United States, Southern Christians, use the Bible to say, you see, we're just doing God's will. The Bible says that the descendants of Ham, the Africans, are supposed to be slaves. How tragic that our Bible is used for such horrors because of people who take it literally. We as Jews who brought the Bible to the world must do everything we can to warn people against a literal interpretation which has brought horrors to this world. Today we see in Congress they're trying to rein in Facebook because it can bring about terrible things, especially to young girls who are ostracized and shamed because of their body image. But not only should we be concerned about Facebook, but about Faithbook, putting your faith in a book without using common sense and reason and just having blind adherence to it is very, very dangerous. What else do we learn? Noah was saved, but he was not qualified to be the first Jew. Why? Because he saved everyone. He saved himself and his family, but the rest of the world, he didn't try. He didn't care. Abraham, when he was told that Sodom and Gomorrah were going to be destroyed, he said, no, 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 God, you can't do that. He argued with them. He said, you got to try to save them. Let me try to find some honest people there. Then Moses, when he was in the comfort of the palace and saw the Jews suffering, he said, no, 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 that's not right. I got to save these other people, even though I'm protected. Noah, as long as he and his family were safe, he was good to go. He never tried to argue for the other people. So yes, compared to other people at his time, he was saintly. he was a good person. But he was not good enough to be the first Jew, because to be the first Jew, you have to care about other people and you want to save not just yourself, but the rest of the world. You know, he also couldn't have been kosher because he named his son Ham. So if the story didn't actually occur, is there something that we can learn from the story? Absolutely we can. Noah and the ark is not a story that is just archaic. Noah is an archetype, and Noah's ark is an archetype for what we should do today. What does that mean? It means that the whole world is going astray and everybody's smoking it, everybody's doing it, everyone's listening to it, everyone's hearing this horrible music, everybody's going in a wrong direction. We have to have the courage to just say Noah and not get swept up in evil. And Noah in Spanish is no way. We have to say, if everybody's doing the wrong thing, no way! I'm a Jew. I answer to a higher authority. We have a covenant. That rainbow in the sky, it reminds us of the covenant. And who is the covenant with according to the Torah? It teaches us something very valuable. It wasn't just with Noah. It wasn't just with his family. It wasn't just with all humanity. It was with all living things. In other words, God made a covenant with all living things. And even if we don't take it literally, that means that in the eyes of our people, of our ancestors, the supreme intelligence of the world considered all animals to be worthy of entering into a covenant. That means they have legal status. We should take animal life seriously. It says, "Kids kol basar." The end of all flesh is coming to the world. But that could be translated another way. Basar means meat. Perhaps what the Torah is telling us is that the end of eating meat should now come to the world. We should learn to do away with the consumption of meat, eating animals. We should protect animals, not just in a mythological ark, but we should protect them. There is no need to eat meat anymore. And we should never, ever consume something that came out of a product of factory farming. It is grisly, gruesome, grotesque, and vile. We should wean ourselves away from eating meat, first by getting rid of this reprehensible factory farming practice, and perhaps go cold turkey, if you'll pardon the expression, give up meat and become vegetarians and vegans. And now we learn something else in the story. Very interesting. God says, "I'm not going to bring a flood of water anymore. You don't have to worry." But he never said that he would prevent us from perpetrating climate change as what happened in the days of Noah upon the earth. He wouldn't stop us from bringing a flood of waters, which is now destroying the planet. So what the story is trying to teach us is that we are now godlike in our power, but not in our wisdom. So we must prevent climate change. We must save all the animals on earth, not by building an ark, but by building a society that gets rid of fossil fuels. We must just say Noah, no way to fossil fuels, no way to our carnivorous ways, no way to supporting clueless, climate-denying, science-denying politicians who are just allowing our children's future to go up in smoke as they fiddle while the forests of California and the Amazon burn. No way should we allow this carnage to continue, because, my friends, the story of Noah teaches us most of all, we are all in the same boat. The pandemic taught us what happens in China affects us here, and the fossil fuels burnt in China affect us in America and throughout the world. And we, as large producers of fossil fuels, we must stop this fossil fuelish practice and stop dancing chic to chic with oligarchs who think they have us over a barrel because we're using their fuels. And as we give money to them so they can finance terrorist groups against Israel, let liberals and conservatives unite to bring about an end. No way. Just say Noah to fossil fuels, because the day we do that, my friends, it'll not only save the planet, it'll not only save our economy by preventing all our wealth by being shipped overseas, it'll not only bring wealth into us and to Israel if we are the ones who develop the technology for it, but my friends, it'll also stop the end of the destruction of this planet and the end of the finance of our enemies. My friends, let us gather together. Let us enact a spiritual transformation of religion so that it's no longer seen as just archaic stories of people thousands of years ago, but rather the goal of religion should be to transform humanity into a group effort, people that see ourselves as one family, all in the same boat with a common purpose, to protect this precious planet, to protect our Mother Earth, and to protect all of its inhabitants, human and animal life and plants as well. Shabbat Shalom.
Buen Shabbat, con salud y vida. Buen Shabbat a todos. salud y vida. Años muchos, con paz y alegría.
I didn't come here to be average.
Deep within me exists the desire to shine,
To reach my potential, to achieve my personal best.
But how do I do that?
For me, it's about exploring the treasure that exists in my own backyard.
and using it for guidance and inspiration.
That treasure is the Torah, a wealth of wisdom that has guided our people for over 3,000 years.
That enabled us
to have such a profound impact on the world.
By advocating for the value of life,
the importance of education,
justice, social responsibility, and so much more.
The power and impact of Judaism is incredibly far-reaching.
And we have so much to be proud of.
Judaism challenges me to grow.
It enables me to realize that the biggest project I will ever undertake in this world
is the development of myself.
The biggest war I will fight is the one against my own desires.
And to recognize this is to understand that I can overcome these battles
and improve myself by incorporating the lessons of Judaism into my life in order to reach greatness.
Not just any greatness,
Jewish greatness.
Because I can achieve all of this through Judaism. I am proud to be part of the Olami community.
We challenge ourselves and one another to find our inspiration,
our inner quality,
and our own Jewish greatness.
Our interactions, our experiences, and our challenges
are the ways we are striving to find our Jewish greatness.
To uncover it,
achieve it,
to own it,
and to inspire others to do the same.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כיי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורל עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Now it's time for us to read the Kaddish. As we do so, we remember all our loved ones who have passed away from the pandemic and from natural causes, from disasters around the world. We also think of all the animals who have died, billions and billions of them who died tragically in fear and horror as their home in the forest burnt down. Imagine the horrific sight of fires coming at you from all directions, unable to escape throughout the Amazon, California, Australia, Russia, and so many other lands. We need to get our act together now so that we can prepare for climate change as Noah attempted to do. We couple all living things in our hearts as we read the Kaddish and pledge to do all we can to protect all living things. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemer Rabba v'yamad yivchach ruseh v'yamlich malchuseh v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayed chol beis Yisrael V'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemer Abba mivarach olam omei omaya. Yisborach v'yistabach v'yispo'ar v'yischomam v'yisnaseh. V'yisadar v'yisalev v'yisalal shemer kedusha berechu. Le'elam enko berchasa v'shirasa. Tushbechasa v'nechemasa. Da'amiran v'yomra v'imru amen. Yehi shalom araba min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and comfort bring peace and comfort to all who mourn. And may we, the supposed stewards of this planet, bring peace and comfort rather than terror to all living things. And let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, one and all. We're thrilled to have you joining us for this Shabbat. I'm Sharon Leibovitz. We have some exciting services and programs upcoming that I would like to share with you. This Tuesday, October 12th at 7 p.m. on Zoom, we'll have our Torah study and chat with two rabbis, Rabbi Barry Silver and guest Rabbi David Levin, a non-denominational rabbi who's the founder of Jewish Relationships Initiative, an educator and an author. This should be a very interesting discussion about the Torah Parsha Lech Lecha. We hope to see you there for this special discussion. Next Friday, October 15th at 5:30 p.m., we'll have a live in-person Shabbat celebration at the beautiful Oak Pavilion in the West Boynton Park, where we recently held our Simchas Torah celebration. This Shabbat celebration will be part of the national interfaith effort to take action on climate change. Va-Dor is proud to be a partner of this national effort and offer this environmental Shabbat to you and all of us. Va-Dor offers a rational Judaism where we are all welcomed, both virtually and physically. We offer a Judaism that makes sense, is exciting, and engaging. We participate in local and national efforts to bring about positive change in our world. We hope that you'll join with us and be a part of our wonderful congregation. Help us to build the Judaism of tomorrow today. We welcome you to support what we're doing and what we're offering, and look forward to meeting each of you in person very soon. Each Friday evening, we continue our Shabbat celebration with our Zoom and Schmooze at 8 p.m. This is a special time to see one another, catch up, discuss some topics of interest. Our cantorial soloists provide us beautiful music, and sometimes we even show a short film or two. Join with us and see the heart of Va-Dor each Friday evening on Zoom at 8 p.m. We invite you to learn more about Va-Dor from our website, ladorvador.org, our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and from our emailed newsletters. Links and information for all of our Va-Dor programming can be found on our website, ladorvador.org. Va-Dor is a very special congregation with a very special rabbi, Rabbi Barry Silver. We hope that you'll have a splendid Shabbat, a great week ahead filled with peace, harmony, good health, and happiness. Shabbat Shalom with love from all of us at Va-Dor to you.
Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May you be blessed and protected in your journey through life. Ya'ech Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May the light of love and of reason shine upon you, shine from you always. Yisad Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you be lifted up by the words of inspiration, the elevated heritage of the Jewish people, in order to be a blessing and a source of peace. And as we read from Noah, which says, Ketz kol basar, an end to all flesh is coming. May we remember that one of the biggest drivers of climate change is the eating and consumption of meat, and also animal products. And therefore, as we give the final benediction, may we be a blessing upon this earth by convincing our species as soon as possible to phase out and eliminate the eating of meat and beginning with the closing down of factory farms. In that way, we can bring about a sea change, not only in our diet, but in our planet, as the seas may once again begin to recede. I hope that humanity will take seriously the words of the Torah, not the literal words, but the message that we are stewards of the planet, that we must all work together, that just as we were vegetarians in the Garden of Eden and we shall be at the end of days, in order to protect this planet and all living things and our own health, let us bring about a world where we see the kitz kul basar, the end of beef and eating meat as we know it. Let us begin this spiritual transformation now, and let all religion be transformed to be environmental stewards. And it's a pleasure to have you here with us on this Shabbat. I can't tell you how privileged I feel to be able to deliver a message to you each Friday night, even if it's in cyberspace. On October 15, we will devote our Shabbat celebration, as we often do, to words of inspiration to protect our planet. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful week. Shabbat Shalom.
רד הלילה, רד שירנו, הבוקע השמיים. אורי אורי, אורתנו, עם חודשת שבעתיים. רד הלילה, רד שירנו, הבוקע השמיים. אורי אורי, אורתנו, עם חודשת שבעתיים. אורי אורי, תנסו וכי דרכנו הנסו, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. כי ליבנו לב אחד מעולם ועד אחד, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. לה 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 כי ליבנו לב אחד מעולם ועד עד, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. רד הלילה, רד שירנו, הבוקע השמיים. אורי אורי, אורתנו, החודשת שבעתיים. רד הלילה, רד שירנו, הבוקע השמיים. אורי אורי, אורתנו, החודשת שבעתיים. אורי אורי, תנסו וכי דרכנו הנסו, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. ליבנו לב אחד מעולם ועד עד, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. לה 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 השרשרת. כי ליבנו לב אחד מעולם ועד עד, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. רד הלילה, רד שירנו, הבוקע השמיים. אורי אורי, אורתנו, עם חודשת שבעתיים. רד הלילה, רד שירנו, הבוקע השמיים. אורי אורי, אורתנו, עם חודשת שבעתיים. אורי אורי, תנסו וכי דרכנו הנסו, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. כי ליבנו לב אחד מעולם ועד אחד, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. לה 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 כי ליבנו השרשרת. רץ הלילה, רץ שירנו, הבוקע השמיים. אורי אורי, אורתנו, המחודשת שבעתיים. רץ הלילה, רץ שירנו, הבוקע השמיים. אורי אורי, אורתנו, המחודשת שבעתיים. אורי אורי, נסו לפי דרכנו, נסו, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. ליבנו לב אחד, לעולם ועד, כי עוד נמשכת השרשרת. לה 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 לה